All right, guys, we are kicking it old school today with a Heeter Knifeworks MOW. This is MOW number 4, so it's way old. This is from 2015. Let me show you just what you get when you were buying these back in the day. You get a couple of these rubber wristbands for some marketing. You get a certificate of authenticity, which we'll talk about, and a big old sticker. Okay? Your certificate of authenticity comes in here. Kind of a cool little thing. And then here's what you get. It talks about the specs, signed by Todd. August of 15. Yeah, so we're going back in time right now. So let me just put this off to the side and show you what you got. This is kind of the quintessential old school overbuilt knife, right? It's big, it's chunky, it's in your face. It's not beautiful and classy and polished, maybe, like the King Battle from Frank Fisher, with its exotic materials and clean lines and whatnot. Now, that's not what the MOW was made for, the Man of War. It was made to be a beast. It was made to be a working brute, heavy. This thing is not for the faint of heart knife. Okay? This thing weighs in at 14.1 ounces. And to put that into a little perspective, the King Battle from Frank Fisher weighs in at 11.2 ounces. And because this is sort of Medford Praetorian-esque, like they were both kind of big and popular at the same time, I busted out the misfire of the grenade tie. This one weighs in at 10.3 ounces. So just to give you a little bit of some comparisons here, if we line up the backspacer to backspacer, yeah, the MOW dwarfs and makes the Praetorian tie look small and dainty. By no means are they. Now, of course, this has Damascus, it's a samurai blade, yada yada, some fancy sculpting and whatnot. And we've talked about this many, many times. But yes, Todd actually did a few of these with Damasteel blades and some exotic materials. However, this has got a copper show side. It's a little on the exotic side. It's not just straight titanium. Titanium lock side, titanium bent pocket clip. CPM 3V backspacer and blade. Now, this particular one is old, right? We talk about that. On the newer ones, I don't remember what year, they had a hole here and a hole back here that went through both sides of the scale and through the blade. And they had what really was a grenade, a hand grenade pin that would stick through that to then make it a solid fixed blade, if you will. A little gimmicky. Did serve a purpose. It did lock that blade open, so there was no way for it to close. This particular one has incredibly bad lock slip. Just a little bit of pressure and it's a slip joint. So with that grenade pin, that solved that issue and gave you the confidence to use this as you wanted. Okay? So they made the MOW, they made a smaller POW, and they made the MFer, which is the big fixed blade, which is about the same size-ish blade. They made them in Tonto, drop point, and a chopper type blade, which is very similar-isk to the Hellraiser's kind of straight razor blade. It was bigger, but very similar-ish style, okay? Because I don't have one here to show. This particular one, being older, is a bit of a basket case, according to the current owner. One, he pointed out the lock slip. He pointed out that the stop pin has been replaced. He sent this down to Sean Campbell to replace the stop pin because at some point the stop pin fell out. That's always bad. I'm not sure why he didn't reach out to Todd Heeter to have that done, but Sean Campbell is a fantastic knife repair guy in the Southern California area. I've used him on a couple things. I met him at shows. We've talked a lot, former law enforcement. So he kind of gets along with me and my family and stuff. So yeah, we had a connection there. He's really good friends with Alex. And he works on pretty much everybody's knives. He's actually a I don't know if you call it this, but a certified service center for pretty much all of the South African knives, because it's hard to send your knife down to South Africa, have them fix it and send it back. You send it to Sean Campbell, he fixes it and sends you back. So he's got a agreement, if you will, whatever, with all the South African makers. He can even work on Fisher knives. He's got the 10-point pivot tools and the little tool to reach inside. So he can do service on Fishers actually as well. Granted, I have a connection with Todd Sr., so I just send my stuff back to him. But that being said, let's talk about what we get here. It's just a hair under 6 inches closed. It is now 9¼ inches overall. The blade is at 3.76 inches. I believe, according to the certificate of authenticity and the look here, that this was a 4-inch bladed knife when it first came out, because that's what they were. Somebody, over time, has shaved off at least 1/4 inch, if not more, because it might have been 4.1 or something, right? Todd measured it at 4 inches on the COA, but yeah, somebody might have dropped it, might have bent the tip, and their answer was to just reprofile it. I don't know. It's compound grind. This is all from Todd, the original markings on the copper. They had different backspacers over time, so they kind of came out. They had a lot of different options, and just heat-treated titanium lock side. I mean, all in all, they're cool knives. There was some controversy over them just because they're kind of big and ugly to some. And there was a lot of online kind of hate for them at one point, and overpricedness and things, just a bunch of the normal social media drama, if you will. And there was one guy on YouTube, he posted a video, don't yap at Heeter Nation. And he took one of these and he stabbed it in a tree. And that has forever become a internet meme, little video GIF clip thing. You go look for it. I'm not gonna bother with that. But yeah, okay. So you got 0.030 behind the edge. It's a little bit thicker back here and a little bit thinner up here, but about 0.03. 0.205 blade thickness. It runs on bearings. We talked about the weight. The overall thickness is 0.635. I owned a few of these. I had a couple of MOWs. I had a POW. I had a MFer, the fixed blade. He also made a 2-finger bottle opener knuckle thing. I had one of those. He also made a little dog tag knife. He also made some pill boxes and different. He just made a bunch of different little things. He's in Alabama, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I have talked to Todd a lot. I have never met him in person, but we've chatted a lot. I just posted a picture of this on Instagram, and he reached out and said, "Hey, very cool, blah, blah, blah." And so, yeah, he's still around and he's still making knives, but he's kind of disappeared from the social media aspect anyway. So here it is with the Sharpie. Here it is with the Spyderco Delica. I actually did a torture test with my MOW years ago. I was trying out some different stuff. I can't do the same videos all the time. And somebody suggested, and so I dropped it, and I cut cardboard, and I beat it through a log or something. I don't remember all the things I did literally years and years ago. I'll try to put a link at the end for that. I might even have a heater playlist. I don't remember. I'll have to go look. It's been a long time since I've handled a heater. I like it. I'm not rushing out to buy one at this point. I do like them. I kind of miss owning the MFer because there wasn't a lot of the fixed blades made. So, yeah, that one I did sell. I sold them all. I don't own any now. But, yeah, I kind of miss the fixed blade. I'd buy another one probably, but they got so crazy expensive. And he did drops and some weird auction stuff. And some of these, guys, something like this back in the day would have gone for like $4,000 or $5,000 in an auction, which I just think is totally nuts. That's just me. I didn't play in that world. I couldn't. At this point in my life, I could play in that world, but I wouldn't for something like this. This at 5 figures, yeah, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. This in that, $3-ish grand range, I don't know. That's more palatable to me. But this at $3 grand, this at $4 grand, that's just, I'm not down with that, of this inflated, crazy, overpriced stuff. But yeah, it was hot at the time. Heeter's not the only one that got hot and did stuff like that. The Holt Spectres, those are go for double, triple, quadruple table price. It's an $850 knife, sure. The Holt Spectre, sure, it's $800. It ain't 16, it ain't 24, it ain't $3 grand in their normal. They're just not. And I think we as consumers need to get off of that hype and just let things be what they are. Yes, it's more than just the $150, $200, $300 worth of material. I get that. There's a lot of work, engineering, time, grinding, like all of these things in labor to make it. So I'm not going to say, well, it only cost you $400 in materials. I'll give you $500. No. But I don't play in auctions usually because that's just emotions, spending way more money, and it's the big swinging beep to show that I am bigger than you and I can spend more money to buy that thing that you can't have. And I don't really play in that world. I never really get involved in the auction stuff. So anyway, ran a little off track there, but hey, go check out that video I put in the corner here. It'll either be a playlist or my torture test of this. I don't remember what I have. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you sticking with me. If you made it to the end, comment hype down below.